This is Hood Love TV. Just being honest. I said it's Hood Love TV. Hood Love TV. I'm just being honest. I said it's Hood Love TV. Hood Love TV. I'm just being honest. You're watching Hood Love TV. You're watching Hood Love TV. This is Hood Love TV. Just being honest. I said it's Hood Love TV. Hood Love TV. I'm just being honest. I said it's Hood Love TV. Hood Love TV. I'm just being honest. You're watching Hood Love TV. You're watching Hood Love TV.
Yo, what up, y'all? What up? Well, you already know it's Mr. Hood Love, Mikey B, man. And this is Hood Love TV, where you live, love, and learn. Yo, salute to everybody that's pulling up. You already know what it is, man. XYZ, who up in here? Ish, what up? Wax Dog the General, salute. City Bama, Queens get the money. You already know Wax Dog, Queens get the money. Mike Myers, salute. Salute to everybody pulling up, man. Today we talking about the art of war. We're going to have a build on the art of war. It's an open panel. Y'all want to pull up and talk, y'all talk about the art of war, where y'all learned about it from, some of the things y'all learned about it. That's what we doing. We breaking down the art of war. And, a lot of these military books that affected the culture, a lot of these books that we studied, we're going to come and give y'all shows on all these books, nice breakdowns of these books, and, some information that y'all might not have. And we appreciate it if y'all will come through and also, give y'all spills on these books, you know what I'm saying, on these great books, on these books, you know what I mean? So that's what we doing over here, you heard? Salute, what's going on, man? Yo, it's a lot going on. Yo, it's a lot going on the internet, you heard? I'm coming with this show, but it's all kind of stuff going on the internet, you know what I mean? But, I just want to come with some different content, some educational stuff, some things that we can learn from and build off, because a lot of people, they got misconceptions from a lot of the books that we studied. A lot of the books that was handed to us by OGs, by old timers, when we were in the belly of the beast or wherever we might have came across these books at, somebody, a friend's house, uncle, or, one of your homeboys or whatever, one of your homies or whatever, slid you a book and gave it to you. You know what I'm saying? We just want to know what you got out of it, what you learned from it, and what are some of the things that you retained. And on top of that, we're going to also give y'all like the real study of where, what these books are really about. Because sometimes we read things and, we imprint what we think, what we learn, and that's good too. It's good too. But you always, when you read a book, you always want to get the message that the author was trying to convey. You see what I'm saying? You can make your own interpretation of his book, but you want to get what the message that the author was trying to convey. If you miss that, sometimes you got to go back and get a clear understanding of that. You know what I'm saying? But so the Art of War is the just for background purposes, the Art of War is like the first is like the first military strategic book ever written in history, in human history. There is no book before Sun Tzu's Art of War. That is the first. There is no, he precedes everybody. He was a tactician. He was a general. He was a strategist. You see what I'm saying? I came across this book about 30 years ago. I didn't get this book on my first bid. I got it on my second bid. About 28. I read the Art of War about 25 years ago, around 28 to 30 years ago, around between 9.6 and 9.8 is the first time I came across the Art of War. I came across it on Rikers Island. But it was a heavy read for me at that time. I was kind of young, kind of really uneducated, and it's really like it's not like the books I was reading at the time, the Donald Goines, Iceberg Slim. You might have read, other books that people are giving you. Even the, all the Black Panther books that I read, A Taste of Power, Soul on Ice, all of those books were easier to read because it was more autobiographical. Like Blood in My Eyes, Soul Dad Brothers from George Jackson was an easy read because it was his letters and him just talking about his life. But Blood in My Eyes was more strategic. It was a lot harder to read, a lot harder to understand than Soul Dad Brothers. If y'all read those books, I don't know if y'all read them or not, but those were books that were being handed out at the time. At the same time that we were getting all of these military books, the I Ching, the Book of Five Rings, the Prince, and then later on, we came across the 48 Laws of Power, the Art of Seduction, the 33 Strategies of War, which I like better than the 48 Laws of Power, but that's another show. We go into that in another show. But I don't know. I might tap Gemini in at some point and get Gemini to talk about some of this stuff with us too. Yeah, I'll tap Gemini in and get him to talk about some of this stuff with us as well. But let me give y'all some background on the Art of War. Some quick background. So salute to everybody in the building, man. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in and share the live, man. Share the live. All right, let me just share this. Here's a quick Google from the Art of War right here. If you want, you can get it free. They got free version of the Art of War. Get the Art of War for free. Download for free today. You could download it for free if you want. So at audible.com. So take advantage of that. The Art of War, as you can see, book by Sun Tzu. The Art of War by ancient Chinese strategist Sun Tzu is a classic military treatise from the 5th, and that's the wrong word, from the 5th century BCE that outlines principles of strategy, tactics, and leadership, emphasizing deception, intelligence, and winning without fighting. That's very important. Composed of 13 chapters, it teaches on conflict, psychology, and strategic thinking have transcended the battlefield to influence modern-day business, law, sports, and politics. Key themes include knowing yourself and your enemy, the importance of planning, and viewing war as a last resort. You see, it's a lot of miscommunications and misunderstandings about what the Art of War really is. A lot of people think it's just about destroying or killing people or something of that nature, but really, the art of war is really the art of war is doing whatever you got to do in peace. The art of war is Sun Tzu is going to tell you not to go to war. You lost at so many different fronts if you had to go to war. So the art of war is really gonna try to have you do everything besides go to actual physical war. It's things in the art of war on carrying out an actual physical war. But the thing of the art of war is to do as much as you can in peace. Is to reach your goals, to win without actually physically getting into an actual physical conflict, right? Like I had a show the other day, and we was talking about war and World War III. World War III been started. World War III, what you see with Iran and what America's doing with China and Russia and all these countries are involved. World War III already started. It's just not an all-out physical battle right now. We are in the early stages of World War III already. Once you got major powers trying to crush out people's allies, these are all the things that you see going on in the news right now with Iran and Russia and America. That's the war is on. Just because it's not on a physical level yet, and some things have become physical. Some things have become physical, but that's what it is. You know, the main things of the main things, like one of the main things I learned from the art of war, I don't even got it pulled up. I have nothing here. I got the show on this phone. I got the show. I don't even got nothing here to show it. But some of the main things is like that I kept from the art of war was fluidity, to be like water. If you look in the art of war, I'm gonna get Gemini. I'm gonna get Gemini, and we're gonna discuss this stuff with Gemini. But in the art of war, Sun Tzu tells you to be fluid like water. Why does he tell you that? Because water always finds the path of least resistance. Water don't go up. It's a rarity that you see water going up. Water is going down, and it's going to find the easiest path to get where it has to go. That's what the art of war is about. Getting what you have to get as easily and as peacefully as possible. Avoiding conflicts if you must. The art of war, like street dudes, they want you to get into every conflict. They want you to be outside. It goes all the way. The stuff that you see going on in the streets, and why you see so many so-called gangsters and real dudes in the streets, because they don't follow no laws. They follow none of these laws. They never, I could tell from how they move, they never read the art of war. You see what I'm saying? The people that are running them, that are teaching them, they OGs, they never read the art of war. Either they did, and they just don't care about the people they got on the front line. They don't care about them, or they never read it either. Let me get Gemini real quick. Hold on. Let me go into AI mode. Excuse me. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. What does he say about water? No, I need you to talk. What the hell is Gemini at? Hold on. That ain't Gemini. What's Gemini? That was just regular AI mode. Excuse me, y'all. It's Gemini. I'm just tapping back into Google Gemini. Excuse me, y'all. OG Bobby Johnson, salute. Salute to everybody pulling up in the building, man. Them high-tech weapons is the utilization of the art of war. Let me tell you something. Them drones, art of war says you strike like lightning. It says you strike like lightning. I'm gonna let Gemini do it, but it says you strike like lightning when you strike your enemy, so it's irresistible and he cannot stop it. Those drones are the art of war 101. Those lasers and all that stuff that you see from the sky, whoever runs the sky, America has the best army because we run the sky. That bird, once you run the sky, then it's over. That's what the art of war says. The best offense it strikes like lightning. You don't see it coming. You're never going to see it coming. This deception, you're never going to see it coming. And we are living that time right now. And it also says, let me ask y'all this. In the art of war, if you study, put a one in the chat if you have studied or read the art of war. Put a one in the chat. Yo, Buck, salute. Us never them in the building, man. You already know, man. Go subscribe to the bro Bucks, man. Put a one in the chat if you ever studied the art of war. Yo, Bucks. All right. Bucks said he studied the art of war. Bucks said, yo, Bucks, the link is in the chat, man. If you want to pull up real quick and talk your talk, bro. Yo, check it out. So, yo, let me ask you this, Bucks. Since you said you studied the art of war. Where in the art of war, where is the best defender? In the art of war, where is the best defender? If anybody else that read it, y'all can answer this as well. In the art of war, where is the best defender? That's the question on the table right now. Where is in the art of war, where is the best defender? Yo, you should have picked it up, Tiny Let Loose. It was a hard read for me when I started doing it, but I did a lot of time, so I was able to study it. But you missed a good read. It's a good one. They got it free. It's a free download on audible.com. So if you want to get it for audible.com, it's free. Oh, you ain't study it. All right. In the art of war, it says the best defender is in the deepest depths of the ground. The best defender. Why is he in the deepest depths of the ground? Because you can't see him. You can't find him. Where is all of these in Iran? Where is all of this stuff? Yo, Flatbush Smitty in the building. You already know. My co-host is pulling up. The best defenders in the deepest depths of the ground. In Iran, where are these people hiding at? Where's all this stuff being done at? In the ground. Look, Tiny Let Loose just said he seen the I saw the Mexicans reading it, right? In prison. The Mexicans, they great. Well, they got tunnels. They had tunnels from Mexico all the way to America. The best defender at war is in the deepest depths of the ground. Why do you think everybody got bunkers? Why do you think America's underground? They all following the art of war. Hold on, I got Gemini too. Hold on. I got Gemini too. Hey, Gemini. The Art of War by Sun Tzu, where does he say the best defender is? Hold on. Why is Gemini not talking? I want to hear. Hold on. I'm gonna share this with y'all real quick so y'all can see it. I got to get Gemini to speak. I don't know why Gemini not speaking. All right, here it is. You see, this is what that's what I Googled. Hey, Gemini, the Art of War by Sun Tzu, where does he say the best defender is? It's a classic search for the one Sun Tzu's most famous paradoxes. While Sun Tzu doesn't use the exact phrase, the best defender is in a single sentence, his philosophy on defense is centered on invisibility and security. The specific passage you're likely thinking of comes from chapter 4, Tactical Dispositions. Here is the core of the argument. Sun Tzu suggests that the best defender is one who is so well prepared and hidden that the enemy doesn't even know where to strike. He writes, the expert in defense hide in the most secret recesses of the earth. The expert in defense hides in the most secret recesses of the earth. Now, see, I probably had a different translation. The translation that I read, it said the deepest depths of the earth, right? In the original context, it contrasts this with the expert in attack, who flashes forth from the topmost heights of heaven. You see, what I told you earlier about the best offense being from the sky to strike like lightning or thunder, you see it says flashes forth from the topmost heights of heaven. That's the best offense. Why this matters? Sun Tzu's best isn't about having the thickest walls. It's about invincibility. Here are the three pillars of his defensive strategy. 1, self-protection first. You defend when your strength is inadequate to win a certain victory. Defense is a way to preserve your resources until the moment is right to strike. 2, the element of mystery. If the enemy knows your defensive layout, they can plan around it by hiding. You force the enemy to waste resources searching for a weakness. By hiding, you force the enemy to waste resources searching for a weakness. 3, psychological security. A perfect defense makes the enemy believe that an attack would be useless, effectively winning the battle before a single arrow is fired. So 3, a psychological security. A perfect defense makes the enemy believe that an attack would be useless, effectively winning the battle before a single arrow is fired. Now, so those were, that's some of the things right there that yeah, tap the like button, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. channel not monetized, hit the like button, share the live, hit the QR code up here right there in the corner. You see the QR code right up there in the corner? Hit the QR code, send something to the channel, show some support, show some love for this great content. You know what I'm saying? But nah, you. So I'm about to show y'all what he had to say about water. But I can tell Gemini is speaking from a different version, a different translation from the one that I read 30 years ago. Hey, Gemini, in the Art of War, what does Sun Tzu say about water being like water? You see that? Sun Tzu's water analogy is arguably the most famous part of the entire book. He uses it in chapter 6, weak points and strong, to explain the ultimate goal of a strategist, flexibility. He doesn't just say be like water. He explains why water is the perfect model for a winning army. The comparison, war versus water. Sun Tzu argues that military tactics should mimic the natural physics of water. Here is the breakdown of his logic. Characteristics, water's behavior, the army strategy, avoidance. Water flows away from high heights. Like I told y'all earlier, it always finds the easiest path. An army avoids the enemy's strengths. Targeting. Water rushes towards the hollows, low ground. An army strikes where the enemy is weak. Form. Water has no constant shape. It takes the shape of its container. An army has no constant style. It adapts to the enemy. The form is victory. The most iconic quote from this section is, military tactics are like unto water. For water in its natural course runs away from high places and hastens downwards. So in war, the way is to avoid what is strong to strike at what is weak. So in war, the way. I'm gonna tell y'all about the way. They got something in there that everybody misses out on in the art of war called the way. It's to avoid what is strong and to strike at what is weak. Sun Tzu concludes that just as water has no constant shape, there are no constant conditions in war. If you can change your tactics in relation to your opponent and still succeed, he calls that divine. Why this was revolutionary? At the time, many generals focused on rigid formations and sheer numbers. Sun Tzu was the disruptor of this era, arguing that the cleverest general is the one who is as fluid and unpredictable as a rushing stream. He believed that if you are formless, the enemy has nothing to target, but you can see exactly where their banks are brittle. It's essentially the ancient version of pivoting. That was good. Hold on. We got some more stuff going. That was good. Any questions, any thoughts? What's up? TJ, what's up? I got a couple accounts. I think it is on my main account. Oh, that's Smitty right there. Yo, what up? Yo, everybody, yo, salute to the bros pulling up, man. What up?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Salute. I can't hear you though.
Go and come back out. Yo, holler the ball. Salute.
Can't hear you, big bro. Hold up. Let me get one and come out.
Come back out.
Salute, Mikey B. Big bro.
And somebody got something else on. Salute.
Let me go in and come out.
Yo, what's going on, Holler?
Yeah, I hear you. Crazy.
I'm saying that again. You was kind of in the matrix just now.
Yeah. Salute.
There goes Smitty back. Smitty, you good?
Yo, salute, man. What's going on, man? Hood Love TV, man. It's a lot
Salute.
going on, man. Salute.
Yeah, what's good, man? Yeah, we over here. Yeah, we doing it right now. You know what I'm saying?
What we talking about? What we talking about?
This art of war, man. We talking about this art of war. I was just talking about water and how and how you know how water. Yo, what's up? Yo, Ron Burgundy, get up here, man. Yo, pull up, man. Hit the link. Talk about this
Ron
art of war.
Burgundy,
Yo, get up
salute.
here, man.
Ron
Yo, pull up,
Burgundy,
man.
what's
Hit the
going
link.
on, man? Salute.
Yo, one of y'all's got something else on too. I hear echo.
Yeah.
One of y'all's got something else on too. I hear echo.
Oh,
You hear it?
I'm gonna mute me out because I'm on the road right now. But I'm in. So I'm gonna mute me
All right,
real
so if you on
fast.
the road, check in later because we don't want the show to
So
be
I'm gonna mute me,
staticky
but
and
I'm gonna
stuff like that.
stay.
All right.
Yeah, man. So you know, yeah, Ron Burger, you can pull up, man. Y'all can pull up. Talk about this art of war, man. But what up, Smitty? What's going on? Y'all can pull up. Talk about
All
this
is
art
well,
of war,
man.
But what up, Smitty? What's going on?
That's you, Hollow. You gotta mute up, Hollow.
Go, you
Yeah.
go. I got him backstage.
That's definitely you. All is well, man. All is well, man. I see you on your history and everything. You know what I'm saying? Taking dudes down history lane.
I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions out there about all these books that we read and we studied.
I can't hear you.
It got to be something wrong with your phone. I've been
me,
talking. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, man, but just a lot of misconceptions about the art of war, what the art of war is about. So I had to make sure I popped out and give y'all some information on it, if y'all studied it or not. Because we studied all those books. We used to build on all those books a lot. Let me see if Hollow, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I can hear you. Can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. You good?
Yeah, I'm in a real weird area where I live at is real weird. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know how I go.
So I'm gonna be going in and out. You know what I'm saying? But
It's all good.
if you hearing any static, just let me know and I'll mute up.
All right, it's all good. Yo, Marty, what's up, man? Salute to everybody in the building, man. Hit the like button, man.
Hit
Hit
that
the
like
cash
button.
app. Hit the cash app. Hit the share button. Hit some buttons, man. Hit some buttons. Support the channel, man. We not monetized over here. We not monetized over here, but we still giving y'all some good content. You know what I'm saying? Hit them buttons. Support the peoples, man. Support the channel. But guys, anytime talk, y'all, either one of y'all can go. Y'all can talk. Tell us when did you come across the Go ahead, Hollow. Go ahead.
Me personally, I didn't get a chance to like get into that book. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. Only thing I know about that book is what I've been told by my peers. You
Oh,
feel me?
wow.
So I
Wow.
really didn't get a chance to get into that book. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I showed some things already, so you can go back in and show, and I'm backing it up with the actual stuff from Gemini, so you can see that it's actually real.
Okay.
But we gonna build. We gonna all learn some things. You know how it go. You heard?
That's a
Right.
fact.
But go ahead. So when is the first time you heard about the art of war? What did you hear about it?
Oh shit. First time I heard of the art of war, my uncles back in like early 2000s. Um, and they was just basically talking about, you know, um, basic ways of life, or if I'm not mistaken, you know what I'm saying? Like, um, I don't really want to be wrong, so but
Nah, ain't no right or wrong about how you came about it.
I
And
definitely heard it because this was back in the day, like when my uncles was getting into that New World Order type shit, and they was reading all them type books and all that. But I was a kid, you know what I'm saying?
I read
So
the book too. You're right.
yeah,
Yeah. Facts.
Saying so, and then 180 technology and all that, um, and shit like and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they always was in tune with that, and I would just hear them always talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they keep kicking me out. They don't want us talking about this. Yo, Ron Burgundy, salute.
Salute, brother. What's going on?
Yo, Ron Burgundy,
But
salute.
definitely gonna check that. I'm definitely gonna check that book out though,
Salute.
because I'm late. I should have been read it. You know what I'm saying? I should have read that already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fact. And I see somebody else say, "So humble, city boy, salute, salute to everybody pulling up." Lone Wolf, salute. Yo, King E 360, salute to everybody pulling up. Yo, but it was a hard read.
Nobody.
When I first tapped into it, when I was young, I had to like put it down a couple of times myself, because at that time I was reading like Donald Goines and Iceberg Slim and stuff like that. And I was reading a lot of autobiographical work. Martin, Malcolm, all the Panthers, all of their work. And that's easier because it was a lot of violence in it, just being honest.
Somebody
A lot of violence. And it was a story as opposed to that's like literature. It's like education. It's like a college book. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. Y'all talk.
Righteous.
All right, so what is some of
Is that me echoing?
Nah, ain't no echo, bro. I don't hear no echo.
All right.
You hear me, Hollow? You hear me,
I hear
Hollow? Let me ask you this before we move
Yeah,
on to the other brothers. So what did they tell you as far as the art of war? Yo, you'll be a great general if you read this, you study this. Like, what was the feel?
Yeah,
what was
like
the feel that they gave you?
Yeah, like basically, like if you want to be a great warrior general, and it teach you ways of life, like like basic what would I say, what is that, damn, the laws of
Principles, values.
principles and all of that, like form of structure and all of that good stuff.
That was a great book, though. For them to tell you to read that book, that was great. I ain't gonna lie, that's a great book.
Yeah, like the laws, the primary laws and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you, right?
So I was always
let him finish, Ron.
Yes, sir.
Always listening to them talk about like primary laws and things like that. And yeah, I would just be air hustling and sitting back and just trying to peep game and get what I could get out of that, whatever made sense to me at the time.
Fire.
But can't really be long-winded with it. But I would love to hear more about it and learn. You know what I'm saying? Actually read the book. You know what I'm saying? I would love to read that.
It's a great read, bro.
I might even go on the Kindle tonight and go ahead and purchase that right there.
$5 is light money too. When I bought it, I was buying it in prison every now and then. I used to have to lose it to get it back, like $5. But right, it's light. So Ron Burgundy, one of y'all Smitty, yo, salute Ron Burgundy. What's going on, bro?
Salute, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. I feel like these books like this is the worst things to hit our community.
You think so?
Because you got stupid smart niggas who take this book.
I can't hear the brother.
You can hear me?
I hear you, bro.
I hear
you. You got these stupid smart niggas who go to jail.
I can't hear.
They read this book and they come home and they interpret it the completely wrong way. So most of the people in our community don't even understand this book. And how right now I would not tell nobody to read this book because it doesn't apply to the times that we live in. You see what I'm saying? It's good to have knowledge and to have like understanding of different ways of life. But if you ask me, this is why gang shit went down. Everybody started reading the Sun Tzu's and the Machiavelli shit.
All right. So did you ever read this book?
Yes, I have. I read the Art of War by him, the Art of War by Machiavelli Prince.
Instead of anybody else's interpretation, when you read the book, what was your interpretation of the book?
My interpretation of the book got me in trouble, Mikey B, because I was in prison.
So you was one of the dumb dudes you talked about.
Yep, I did bad, homie. I did bad reading these books. Anything I did homie, in life is gonna be something I went through. You see what I'm saying? I read these books.
You take accountability.
The Bobby Seals and all that shit that I started You know what I'm saying? Writing grievances, writing the mayor of the worlds and all that shit, trying to get, black equality and prison equality. And the journey starts within. I read a book called Man Searching for Meaning by Viktor R. Frankl. Okay, that was just about his times and how he survived during the Holocaust. That was the most humbling book I ever read in my life. These books right here, if you don't have a basic understanding of life, you're going to take them, and then you'll have that Napoleon complex, that Caesar complex, like you're playing chess. It's 2026. These people don't even know who Machiavelli the Prince is. They don't know who Sun Tzu is. And they damn don't care about no witty-ass quote that he has. You see what I'm saying?
Don't get it twisted. They might want to know about it.
Yeah.
It's up to us to give them the correct information to use the knowledge correctly. Like we was talking the other day, me, Smitty, and Hollow, and another brother was up there with us. I think Smitty and
Way to Black.
Yeah, salute to Way to Black. And we were talking about we get this information. It's not the information that's bad. It's the usage of the information.
Exactly. Right.
Art of War is a great book that they're using in business. They're using it in sports. The Art of War is a great book for any person that's managing people to know, because that's, as a general, it's the management of people, businesses, or whatever you got going on. It's perfect. It's about strategy.
But you like, do it teach you like character, structure, strategic structure? Do it like teach you like
yeah.
What can
it teaches you all of that, bro. It teaches, and we're gonna go into more stuff. I just want to hear the brothers and how they came about it. I want them to tell their stories so we can get how everybody came in contact with the book, and then we can move back into.
Don't get it twisted. It's a great book. The foundation, the ideology behind it, what it teaches you, if you can understand the words in it. Most of the individuals in our community didn't finish high school. They don't have a high vocabulary. So when they're reading these books, they're not able to process it and understand what they're absorbing in order to, you see him put it back out there in the universe how he's supposed to. You see what I'm saying? They're just running through it and reciting it. That's when you have smart dumb niggas on the internet.
All right, so let's get Smitty in here. Then we're gonna get into some of the books. Smitty, yo, talk your talk, man. When did you come in contact with that? Yo, hold on. Shout out to the peoples before you go, Smitty. Yo, you got Shy Bay in here. He said don't give up on Manny, Ron Burgundy. He said he's still salvageable. Yo, O'Shea Jackson, salute, man. Salute to everybody. Yo, Ramel just pulled up. Ramel Valentine in the building. Salute to everybody pulling up, man. Share the live, man. Let the people know we in here. And we on some educational stuff. You know, we on different time, and pull up, support the people, man.
Yes, sir.
But guys, Smitty, excuse me, bro. When did you come in contact with it? How did you learn? What are some things you learned? How did they give it to you? What was the feel?
I mean, I ain't even read the book, like really, really read the book. You know what I'm saying? Like it passed through my hands. You understand what I'm saying? Like I got through, like Ron Burgundy said.
Oh, wait a minute.
You know
all right, so what did you say? The path to your hands.
Hold on. Like Ron Burgundy said, a lot of brothers didn't grow up with a high school education. I'm saying, all right, a lot of brothers in my neighborhood, we didn't graduate high school. We wasn't graduating high school.
I got my GED.
So a lot of dudes didn't come up with that. But I'm saying a lot of dudes didn't come up with that, how to break that vocabulary, or those there's a lot of big words in there. Dudes will get discouraged from looking at in books like that. You know what I'm saying? So at that time, I'm coming up 16, 17, OGs throwing me books like that. I'm looking at them shits like that. Fucking man, get this out of here.
I don't care.
We're BVI, we're Donald Goins. You understand what I'm saying? Dumb me down quick, fast.
Black Tails. You had Black Tails at that time.
Black Tails and video where those at right now? I'm coming up north. I'm 16, 17. I ain't trying to hear nothing but Black Tails.
Straight stunning.
And good, yo, listen. I'm keeping it real. A dude passed me something like that when I got older. When I got older, I read that book, but I just never. I read certain books. I just never got back into that one though. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Mikey.
So when the OGs handled you the books, you was like, hold on, take this shit back and give me a Blacktail, bro. This is way out my league.
Give me a Blacktail or Donald Goins.
But you know what that's like. When I first came across the Art of War, I couldn't read it neither. I studied it throughout the years. I had to come back to it. It's a book called Makes Me Want to Holler by Nathan McCall. One of my favorite books now, right? When at the time, I was so dumb. When I first came to jail, they gave me that book. The bros, the homies, the brothers gave me that book. And it was a dude on there with a kufi on there. I'm like, get this Muslim. I ain't Muslim. Get this shit out of here, you heard? I come back. I come back years later. I read the book. Yo, E, what up? Salute. Salute, already pulling up. You already know, sis. Yo, look. So I come back, and that Nathan McCall's book, Makes Me Want to Holler, is one of my favorite books of all time.
I love that book right there.
Fire.
I love that book right there. That book is fire.
Yo, that's a fire book. But look, when I first gave it, they gave it to me in Rikers Island. I think Paul's one of them, Malcross, Magoo, somebody gave me that book. They gave me that book. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not reading this shit. Why are you giving me this book? But so I understand what y'all saying, because those things were hard for me to read at first as well, you heard?
Right.
Even deeper than that, you said something, right? You said something that I've been touching on. Got to keep it in the eye. A lot of us during prison, we didn't know how to keep it on the eye. I'm not going to lie to you. Rehab taught me that. You see what I'm saying? Rehab taught me how to stop deflecting and stop reflecting, meaning like, yo, I think addiction is, what did addiction do to you? You see what I'm saying? And I had to really sit there and I'm like, let me take that into my whole life. You see what I'm saying? And keeping it in the eye keeps the people from saying that you talking about them. So you see what I'm saying? So for me, that book right there is in the right hands, it can sharpen steel. In the wrong hands, we know what it can
destroy nations.
Definitely destroy nations, right?
They can destroy nations, you heard? But I don't think, let me tell you something. I don't think, like what y'all was saying, I don't think a lot of guys coming from our backgrounds were even smart enough to even study the art of war.
Ooh, that book, 48
Laws. The 48 Laws is a lot easier because it's stories, it's history about people. We're gonna do a show on the 48 Laws too, but the art of war is just so technical. The art of war is like college. Right. The art of war is college. One thing I learned from Malcolm X when I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, you said this just now, Smitty. The words were too big. I got better with words because once I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, he said he read the dictionary for one, and he never went past a word. You are never supposed to go past a word that you don't know. You supposed to write. I used to write in jail. How I got my vocabulary up is that every time I seen a word that I didn't know, for one, I looked it up immediately. I had a dictionary near me, and I wrote it down. I had a whole pad of words of my new vocabulary words for that week. Because we in a box, we reading the books every day. In jail, you read books.
Yeah, I didn't read one of your letters before. I didn't see your vocabulary. There's someone in there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see your vocabulary. For real though, it teaches you a lot. But if you don't know how to apply it, like you said, bro, we just niggas reciting somebody else's shit, like a Tupac verse. You see what I'm saying? But this book right here,
right? I think the Art of War is a great book. Let me just give y'all something. I learned about humaneness from the Art of War. So it makes some people go dumb, but to be a great leader, what I learned from the Art of War is you have to have humaneness. You got to have humility.
That's a big that word right there is something that lacks in our community, and that's why so many of us are in prison and getting shot. I know that's why you know what I'm saying, that there's a thin line between like keeping your humility and trying to live with pride and ego. That pride shit, primary reason individuals die early. I so believe that. You see what I'm saying? I heard that from an old time in jail, and all the lessons I learned, I'm starting to apply them now, understand them. Like you said about that book. Now I said again, it's in the right hands, it's great, but I think the youth need to. I don't think that's a book that I would give someone nowadays to read, based on all the things that's going on in the world.
Right.
I think.
Oh, you said you wouldn't. I mean, it's different.
I was starting off with a different foundation, though. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying you wouldn't give anybody that book to read?
Right off the rip, I would want to know what they read first. See, like this, like you, if you remember, like you couldn't just read a book. You had to there had to be books before that you had to get into to understand what you were reading. You see what I'm saying? Like that's a very advanced book.
It is.
Even the Machiavelli
to give somebody coming off the streets, especially to give somebody coming off the streets, 16 years old, wild, been doing everything in the world on the island, on the bubble. Come on, stop it, bro. What you do looking for is BVIs.
We was building on them books. We had to write essays. We was doing essays. We was doing the most with them books. That's why, like, just knowing, like, us talking right now, I could talk about the whole book, and I read that book in at least 25 years. The last time I read it, at least 25 years.
But you didn't read it; you learned it. You see what I'm saying?
I know. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying I read it, but all those books I studied. I studied those books, so I know them.
What's the most thing that what's the best thing you learned from that book? Like, what caught your eye? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, out of the whole book, what you like that he taught out of that book?
I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna start with humaneness. I'm gonna start with the thing that stuck with me. I'm gonna start with humaneness, humility, because I was an animal, and I was a young leader in prison. Regardless, you know what I'm saying? I was a young leader. So me learning that I had to have humaneness and worry about my peoples and really care about people. Like, if you really understand what the word humaneness is, having humility is humble. You see what I'm saying? Right. So, and humaneness is even different than humility. It's similar, but humaneness is just like, don't treat a person like an animal or a dog. Even having humaneness for an animal, it's good treatment for enemy soldiers. This is the first book that's ever written in history on this type of stuff, bro. This is 3,000 years ago almost. You see what I'm saying? Learning that, being in a gang like I was at the time, being a leader in the gang at that time, having people under me at that time, having the intellect that I have, and understanding how important it was, because it was very important how it was outlined in that book, to have humility, to be humane. You see what I'm saying?
Eat up, Quinn.
Yo, G'd up, Quinn. Salute, stone to the bone. Yo, salute everybody pulling up. But
salute.
That was very important, because, like I said, without humaneness, you just a tyrant. You know what I'm saying? You a tyrant, and tyrants get killed. I mean, me being humane, me having that humility is the difference for me being dead right now or in the feds doing the rest of my life.
Nah, that's deep.
And why do you say that? Why do you say that?
I say that because at that time when I was coming up, I had people that would listen to me and would do almost anything I told them to do.
That's a fact.
Right. So if you got these people at your beck and call, and I'm a young leader. I had leadership qualities in the streets, but I was more violent than anything in the streets. I was getting a little bit of money, but I was really violent. You see what I'm saying? So when you leading people, you leading families, you got to be mindful about how you leading people, and that's why I went to those books to get help with leadership. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people that I came up with, didn't have that humility. They didn't have that same humaneness, and it cost them their life. It cost other people their lives that were running with them, and it cost, life like in a box, and life like in the grave, or life like in prison for the rest of your life. So it led a lot of people to their destruction. You see what I'm saying? Like you were saying, a lot of us came up as young leaders with this information. But go ahead, what you about to say, Smitty?
It say humility. For everybody out there that don't know what humility means, humility is the quality of being humble, characterized by modest views of one's own importance, freedom from arrogance, and respectable, teachable mindset. It involves acknowledgement, limitations, valuing others, and having an accurate, non-inflated sense of self. It is seen as a key quiet strength for effective leadership and personal growth. Key aspects and usage examples: active listening. A boss listening to employees and customers, recognizing they don't know everything, says The Economist. Admitting mistakes, acknowledgement, failures and being willing to learn from others' notes. Respectful interactions, treating everyone equally regardless of status. Seeking feedback, actively looking for different point of views to overcome personal bias notes. Giving credit, compliment others without feeling it diminish one's own value. Humility.
Thank you, bro. But yeah, that's very important. If brothers had this humaneness, had humility, then a lot of stuff that we see go down, it wouldn't go down the way it go down. And let me tell you something.
Yo, he said I'm on the pound.
Yeah, you see that, right? Wow. Yo, but and you know, dealing with situations, they would be a lot different if you dealt with humaneness or humility. But you asked me a question earlier, Smitty. I'm a pivot over to that question right now.
Right.
What was the most profound thing I learned about the art of war that I know most people do not know about? Is that the art of war is to get what you gotta get in peace. The art of war, Sun Tzu is going to tell you, if you had to go to a physical war, then you failed on like 3 other levels earlier. That's the last thing. That's the last place that you're supposed to be going and going to a physical conflict. You see what I'm saying? So the art of war is to get things as easy as possible. I was talking earlier in the show about water and how it always finds the area of least resistance. It goes downhill, it goes around mountains and hills. It's always going to find the easiest route to get to where it got to go. And that's what you know Sun Tzu taught with using, and he actually used water as an actual thing in his book. You see what I'm saying? So that stuck out to me as well. As well as Chopper Style. As well as it's something called the way. Having the way. Have any of you heard about that?
No.
The way, you heard about that, Hollow?
Nah.
All right. So the way is, all right, me, you, Smitty, and Hollow, you heard Ron?
I'm listening.
We all a part of the same team. When we moving in lockstep, in accord, and we all on the same page moving together, then our team has the way. You know, it's a bunch of teams out here, dudes together, but only in name, not in purpose, not in action. So they don't have the way. That's like right now, I know dudes with businesses, and they got business with other people, and they'll share a post on the Instagram. Dudes inside their own business won't even share the post. And they getting money together.
But they advertising in the Jordans.
No, they're gonna post up 50. They're gonna post up all the nonsense, some funny stuff, a fight or something. They're gonna send you that. But that's the way is everybody moving in one accord. I'm about to see Gemini. I don't know why. I think it's on my other account. But Gemini was talking last time. I don't know. I'm not upgrading right now. I'm gonna ask Gemini real quick. I'm gonna let y'all see this real quick. I'm gonna ask Gemini about the way so he can break it down for us and I can read that. I don't know. Gemini's AI said he.
Well, you got to understand too, most people, when you go back to humility, there's a saying my grandfather used to tell me, you hold the tail while I fuck the cow. You know what I'm saying? Most people ain't going to have that humility to hold the tail because they always want to hit the cow. You see what I'm saying? That's what it all boils down to. That humility is a big, big, big thing. A car has one brake pedal, one gas pedal, one turn signal. The moment you put 2 gas pedals in that shit, it is not going to function as it should.
Right. All right, check it out. Hold on. Gemini, what does Sun Tzu say in the art of war about having the way? Look, you see this?
Mm-hmm.
The art of war, the way, or Tao, is the very first of the 5 constant factors of Sun Tzu says a commander must master. It isn't just a spiritual concept. It is the foundation of national unity. National unity. You see what I'm saying, right? He places the way at the top of his list because without it, even the most brilliant tactics will fail. What is the way? In chapter 1, Laying Plans, Sun Tzu defines the way Tao as follows. The moral law causes people to be in complete accord with their ruler so that they will follow him regardless of their lives, undismayed by any danger. Essentially, the way is alignment. It represents the psychological and moral bond between the leadership and the people or the soldiers. When an organization has the way, everyone is moving toward the same goal with total conviction. When have you ever seen that? You see what I'm saying, Ron?
Yeah. I see it. Go ahead. When you see it, police officers, correctional officers.
Right.
You can't play with them. They all move one quarter, all for one. Is Sun Tzu the one that said to kill a man of peace, you have to induce war? To kill a man of war, you have to induce peace? Is he was the one who said that?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember that being. I'm gonna ask Gemini after we do this. I can ask Gemini, but I don't remember that being again. It says why the way is the ultimate advantage. Sun Tzu argues that if you have the way, you possess an invisible strength that the enemy cannot easily break. Here is how it manifests in a particular sense. Total trust. Soldiers don't second guess orders in the heat of battle because they believe in the cause and the leader. Resilience. When things go wrong, and they always do in war, a group with the way doesn't crumble. They endure because their purpose is higher than their immediate comfort. Simplified command. You don't need to micromanage or use fear to motivate people if they are already in complete accord with the mission. How to tell who has the way. Sun Tzu suggests that before even starting a conflict, you can predict the winner by asking 7 questions. The first question is, which of the two sovereigns is imbued with the moral law? Imbued means has it inside of them if you don't know. But if your opponent has divided population or a disgruntled team and you have a unified one, Sun Tzu says you have already won the most important part of the battle.
Unify the soldiers.
Modern application. Today we often call the way organizational culture or mission alignment. It's the difference between a team that works for a paycheck and a team that works because they believe in the vision. What I told you, every great leader has to have a vision. When we was talking last time, Smitty. If you don't got vision, you're not a leader.
Absolutely.
Would you like to explore the 4 constant factors Sun Tzu mentions alongside the way? Y'all want to hear that?
Yeah, we're going through it.
All right, hold on. Let me just put yes. All right. I said, all right, great. Beyond the way, moral law, Sun Tzu says a leader must master the 4 constant factors to predict the outcome of any mission. Think of these as a pre-flight checklist for a general. If you have the advantage in more of these categories than your opponent, victory is foretold. That means you automatically going to win. The 5 constant factors. Sun Tzu breaks down variables of any conflict into these specific pillars. 1, the moral law, the way. As we discussed, this is the harmony between the people and their leader. 2, heaven. This represents external conditions you cannot control, the weather, the seasons, the time of day, and natural cycles. 3, earth. This is the terrain. It includes distances, whether the ground is open or narrow, and the chances of life or death based on the physical environment. 4, the commander. This focuses on the qualities of the leader. Sun Tzu specifically looks for 5 virtues: wisdom, sincerity, benevolence, courage, and strictness. 5, method and discipline. This is the organizational structure. It covers the grading of rank, the maintenance of roads for supplies, and the control of military expenditures. The 7 comparisons. Once you understand these 5 factors, Sun Tzu says you must use them to ask 7 questions to see who will win. It's essential It's essentially a competitive analysis. Which ruler has the moral law? Which general has the most ability? With whom lie the advantages derived from heaven and earth? On which side is discipline most rigorously enforced? Which army is stronger? On which side are officers and men more highly trained? In which army is there the greater consistency both in reward and punishment? By means of these 7 considerations, I can forecast victory or defeat. Putting it into practice. If you are leading a team or a project, you can use this as a diagnostic tool. For example, you might have a great commander in the way, a happy team. But if you haven't mastered method and discipline, your processes are a mess, you're still at risk.
All right, so do me a favor, right? Because I know a lot of these people, so you someone who's mastered this. Put that into perspective for people today so they can understand how to apply it in life. How did that make you a great leader, learning these things? What was that transition?
Great question.
Like I said, you got to remember, once I was able, you can't lead if your mind is divided or you don't have a vision. I always had a vision. You know, I started companies early, always had a vision of companies. And, you know, even though I was leading people in a gang, I always led my people to start businesses, to get money, and to do things of that nature. So now it took away from, once I learned having a way and to do these certain things, and that the art of war is really getting what you got to get in peace. So we're looking for what? Freedom and success for our peoples in a nutshell, right?
Righteous.
Financial, I knew financial freedom was something that I always pushed, even as a high-level gang member.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So me pushing financial freedom was a way to get free from, to liberate our peoples from prison with lawyers, as well as to free people from poverty and what might be going on with them in the community. You understand what I'm saying? So I always push that, and that got me really away from pushing gang stuff.
That's what I was gonna get into next. Like, now that the gang shit is a part of your past, right? How do you continue to use what you learned from this book and from this man into your current day of life?
That was good one.
I mean, I'm a living embodied. Once you lived it for so long, once you learned all this stuff, because I read all of the books. I read the I Ching, the Book of 5 Rings. I studied all of them.
Oh, Matsui, I forgot to pronounce his name, but yeah.
I studied all those books. The Prince, we could talk about the 48 Laws, the 33, all these books I studied. You see what I'm saying? So once you studying that type of stuff, and your mind, you know, I went to college, I wrote books, I started business from prison. I had
you had Hood Love in prison. I know that. You were dropping books, all that. I remember that.
Right. We started that 21 years ago.
Yeah, did you have something to do with Fire Through the Wire too?
Nah, but that was some of my people at the time.
Hey, Mikey B, part of my soul too. When you get a chance, send me the links to some of the books you said you wrote. Then you say you wrote some books?
Yeah, they on Amazon.
Yeah, send me the name of the books.
I got you. No problem. I got you.
So I can go ahead and grab them.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. But you know, like I was saying, so it was important to me to understand. Like, I wasn't one of them dudes. For one, you know, I was hands-on with a lot of stuff.
Right.
And I knew I had to lead people to success. So, and the thing that I'm proud of, I'm always gonna say this. Is nobody that can ever tell you in the street that I was in contact with, and I was in contact with people all across this country when I was in a gang that were under me. Right?
Righteous.
But there is no person that can tell you I ever told them to go hurt nobody while they was in the streets. How ill is that? Who could do that? Not a single shot, bro. I love that about myself. I love that about my history, bro.
That's real.
I told them to go get money, take care of your families, get your education, educate yourself.
Right.
I
Structure
told
like
nobody, I never told nobody nothing in them streets to do no, and that's why I'm not dead on the federal prison, bro.
That's a fact.
Never ever, bro. And a lot of my guys is out here, they still doing stuff with the music. A lot of guys that I rocked with when I was in the gang, being that I was leading from that perspective, they were able, they still out here getting legitimate money from what we did together as having a way, because we did book release parties when I was in prison. We had book release parties, we did shows while I was in prison. We was doing all this stuff, and I did a couple of shows. I was doing stuff when I came home as well. But before I even touched land, we had book release parties on Long Island, book release parties in Queens, book release parties in Brooklyn. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the time that I was on. And like I said, this is the knowledge that I got because I was alive while I was a bug out at one time. But studying the greats and studying the masters and leading from a humane perspective with humility, I was able to do these things. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, you was a bug out?
I was a straight bug out. What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was a bug out. I was upstate about 4.5 years. Like, gate banging, all I can tell you all that. But that, like I said, what it taught me was to have this massive spiritual war. You see what I'm saying? When I kick on here about bringing back a narrative, we all remember watching cartoons, being a kid at one point, being good people, being good children. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I fought with that. I fought with that for so many years, being where I've been in prison, that I had to put on this image. I had to be violent. I had to be this. I had to be that. When the spiritual war, we wake up every day, and to live is to die is to live, they say. You see what I'm saying? So when we wake up and we understand that battle, that's the first battle that we have to understand before we can take on all that shit. So I'm giving y'all the foundation with that. Master self. You're talking to people,
and that's what
a lot of time in prison. It took him a lot of time to get to this. He didn't just pick up a book and say, you know what? I mastered it. It's self. It's looking in that mirror and telling yourself things that nobody's going to tell you. Hey, get your fat ass up and do what you're supposed to do. Get up there, do some content. Yo, why are you talking like that? Hold yourself accountable. Fuck holding anybody else accountable. Then pick up the books.
Righteous.
Yo, but you know what? You pointed out just now, Ron Burgundy, is I dislike when dudes come out, and act like like we're not born to be loving people. You understand what I'm saying? Like we just grew out the womb being gangsters. I don't care where you're from, Brooklyn, Long Island, South Carolina,
that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
California. You did not come out your womb gang banging, shooting guns, cursing. Nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
Smitty, to add on to what you're saying, not for nothing, the crazy thing I thought of, the streets teach you absolutely everything opposite of home training, what you actually learned in the house.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? Like it actually teach you everything opposite of what your mother and father and grandparents and aunties and uncles and older cousins instilled in you in the house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that should be about nothing at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. We ain't grow up like that, man. And for you to come back to a humble state, you know what I'm saying? And, reach this, this comfort zone is beautiful, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful to see. It's easy. It's easy, Ron Burgundy, for us to get into them animalistic ways. We know we've been in the box. You understand what I'm saying?
And that's all that's unfortunate.
We've been in these streets.
Yeah, I'll shit
we've been
you
in
down.
these streets running
You play
around.
with me, I'll
It's
shit
nothing
you down. Don't play with me.
to get into them animalistic ways, bro.
But that's all from unfortunate realities that we had to live. That should all be from like trauma that we had to live from circumstance. But that don't mean be victims of the trauma though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Being a victim of the trauma is the excuse that youngins is using to do the dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? To not change and evolve. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, be if you don't change with it, then you're gonna be beneath the change. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna forever be beneath the change. You know what I mean? So you gotta get right now.
At one point, I was screaming F the streets, right? Then I had to realize
you were screaming that too?
Yeah, the streets taught me some of the best lessons in my life. I did bad, homie. That's why this is saying, like,
each his own. I can't really, you know what I'm saying?
I accept that though. Like, I did bad. how am I gonna get up here and talk shit about something I never mastered? Like here I am telling it from my perspective. I was never no kingpin. I was never no super big homie. I was a regular nigga. I might have did some cool shit here and there. You see what I'm saying? Get some, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm comfortable being that now. I ain't trying to be no one else. I don't want no one to know that I hurt you. I want someone to know that I'll help you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It was like I didn't start listening to rap till I was 15. That wasn't allowed in my house. You see what I'm saying? Like these are the real facts. You see what I'm saying?
See, I said it.
Like,
Then I said
I went to group homes
everything
and
you was taught
DFYs.
in the house is out the window once
Yeah,
you
but
hit
those
the street.
the streets don't teach you nothing. They can teach you, but you have to. I'm not saying teach you nothing. What you pick up out there is what you pick up. It ain't nobody else's fault. You picked up the bad shit.
Nah, you have to want to learn it.
You know what I'm saying? I had to learn that.
All right, let's get back to the topic. Let's stay on topic. Any questions y'all got? You said something. What you say? You asked me a question. I want to ask Gemini that question you asked me, Ron, before we forget it.
About that. I forgot where I heard it. It might be Confucius, where he was like, to kill a man of peace, you have to bring war. To kill a man of war, you bring peace, or something like that. I forgot what it was.
Oh no, I don't think it's in the Art of War, but I'm gonna ask right now. Is Sun Tzu's Art of War? Is there a passage on killing a man of peace to end a war, to start a war? What'd you say? Say it again.
To kill a man of peace, you must start a war. To start war, to kill a man of war, you must start peace. To kill a man of peace.
That sounds good.
To kill a man of peace. Hold on. You must do what?
You
gotta start a war.
You gotta start a war.
To kill a man of peace. You will start a war?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he used to peace.
To kill a man of war, you bring peace.
Because he used to war.
It sounds like some.
Sound right?
One of them would have said.
That don't even sound like no rocket science. That sounds pretty good right there.
It's simple, like
simple mathematics.
I just don't remember what I read. I read so many books. I did 4.5 years in solitary confinement. I read
the books I started reading when I first started reading books. When I was introduced to books, it was a lot of Eric Jerome Dickey. What's the other?
Terry McMillan, Iceberg Slim,
Tyree Omar Tyree.
Yeah.
So like that.
The Coon books.
Yeah,
that's what we call them.
books.
The nigga books. You see what I'm saying?
And then like my first good book I read, that was like, it was the Tupac joint, like one of them Tupac joints. And then it was a 50 book. And then after that it was just other shit like the Constantine conspiracy, all kind of other dumb shit.
Yeah, but when I read this book for the first time, I didn't even understand it. You see what I'm saying? It took me to actually come home and be from out of prison and really sit there and break it down to understand, like Mikey B was speaking on. This teaches you how to get it, work smarter, not harder, how to get it without going to war. You see what I'm saying? Because
that's what the Art of War is about. It's about getting things in peace.
Not compromising your integrity.
Yep.
Not compromising integrity.
Oh, speak on that integrity, because I don't think a lot of people know. That's what that book does, focus a lot on integrity. I don't think a lot of people know what integrity is.
Yes, sir. That's a fact. And we need a lot. We need to grow integrity as a people. You dig? Like as a people, for real. Like our women, as men.
Give us the definition of integrity.
Smitty, look that up, Smitty.
I'll tell you what it is. Simple. It's doing behind closed doors
what you want
looking when everyone else is looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's just simple. You see what I'm saying? You know, like, and I had to learn that. I complicated it too much. Like, I gotta move like a general. These shits is real simple, homie. You know what I'm saying? It's
like living your life like a camera on you all day, every day. You don't got no time to rehearse. Nothing. Everything got to be genuine and the righteous way. Not just genuine. Not just genuine to you, but what's righteous. Not just what you think is right. You know what I mean?
Yo, this is important. What I just got when I asked that question that you wanted wrong.
Check this out. I think Confucius said, "When it's love, it's love. But when it's war, it's war. And if it's war, it's bloodshed. If it's bloodshed, it's to the death."
Check it out. Look at this. Is this passage in The Art of War by Sun Tzu? Killing a man of peace will start a war. I put war. To kill a man of war brings peace. The specific quote, killing a man of peace, you will start to kill a man of war brings peace, is not in The Art of War by Sun Tzu. In fact, the phrasing sounds more like a modern internet quote or a line from a movie or video game script. It doesn't align with the linguistic style of ancient Chinese philosophy or the known translations of the Sun.
I guess because it's so simple.
Yeah.
What Sun Tzu, excuse me, I'm saying Sun Tzu. What Sun Tzu actually says about peace and killing. Sun Tzu is actually quite famous for wanting to avoid killing whenever possible. You hear that?
Yeah.
That's why you have to read these books and understand them. Because if you take a book and it says Art of War and you think it's destroying everybody, this shit is the best shit you can actually read that somebody that's going through this type of stuff can actually read.
Because when you say Art of War, first thing I'm thinking is some 300 shit. 300 everywhere, conquering land and all of that.
And that's why I started with this book. This is gonna be in a series that I do right now, but I'm starting with this book, and it's gonna go to, this Prince, the Machiavelli, 48 Laws. We're gonna go to all those books because I can really quote from all of those books. But all right,
book club shit right here. I ain't gonna lie.
So check it out. Yeah, because the book club is all good. All right, check it out. In fact, the phrase sounds more like I already went through this. What Sun Tzu actually says about peace and killing. Sun Tzu is actually quite famous for wanting to avoid killing whenever possible, not because he was a pacifist, but because it is inefficient. Here is his real stance on a relationship between war and peace. The goal is to avoid killing. In chapter 3, he says, to fight and conquer in all your battles is not supreme excellence. Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. You heard that?
Mm-hmm.
He believed the best general wins by diplomacy or psychological warfare, keeping both armies intact. The value of the enemy, he argued that it is better to capture an army whole than to destroy it. If you kill everyone, you inherit a graveyard. If you capture them, you inherit resources and soldiers. War is a last resort. He opens his book by saying war is a matter of life and death and a road to ruin. He warns that no nation ever benefited from a prolonged war.
That is a fact.
Peace quote you might be thinking of, there is a common proverb often attributed to various sources that says, in peace prepare for war, in war prepare for peace.
Okay.
While this captures Sun Tzu's spirit of preparedness, the exact wording isn't his. Where did that quote come from? The killing a man line sounds very similar to themes found in video games like Assassin's Creed, Metal Gear. Let me tell you, you find out you got this shit of a video game. Anime. This shit is an anime. You watch anime, bro?
Nah, I can't even understand that shit.
I ain't gonna lie, that's an ill quote though. I ain't gonna lie.
Something I had.
It is a good quote.
I read so many books, man. Like I can't even name some of the shits. But what I learned at the end of the day is like, especially with this book, the word war doesn't always mean conflict. War means conflict. Excuse me. War means conflict. And when we wake up, we're all living to die. That's a conflict in itself. We are engaged in war all day. Spiritual, mental, physical. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's how you prepare yourself for it. That's all. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And being in prison, reading them books, it gave me a foundation that I'm not even using until it's like right now. I've been home 10 years. I swear to you. You see what I'm saying? I was one of them smart, dumb niggas in prison. Because I'm smart, but I read a whole bunch of books, writing books, doing all this shit. I'm about to go home and change the world and get my social security number back and file taxes on my bid. You remember that? All that shit?
Well, you was one of them? I studied, but I ain't go hard. I ain't do the most, but I studied a lot of that stuff. That stuff is real. That stuff is law.
Road to redemption and all that shit. I done been around people. Listen, right? So again, when reality smacks in, if you don't know how to use these books, they're useless.
They're useless. You incompetent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, anything is that. If you're not studying, if your study habits are not correct, then you're not going to be able to absorb and get the information.
But you just got to be pointed to the right thing to study.
And your practice habits have to be even better than that. You have to practice it.
Yeah,
it has to be given to you the right way.
Like,
right.
word too. Like, you know, it got to start. Like, you know, one thing about when it comes to me reading books and shit, I still gotta read paper.
You
I
muffled,
still
bro.
gotta,
You in the matrix. I can't really hear you.
you know, shit, just this some
Yeah,
weird
you
shit.
still
It's like,
muffled.
You heard me? Hollow. You in the matrix, bro. I can't really hear you.
yeah, I'm gonna jump out and jump back in. Hold on.
Uh
Yeah, but I'm glad that when you're speaking on these books, bro, you're up here showing people how actually to apply it because, again, a lot of people just quote this shit. They keep it in the back of they if they view so everybody see they read it. You know what I'm saying? But it's to applying shit is what I learned. Applying is the hardest part. You see what I'm saying?
applying is hard. Applying is hard because we are creatures of habit.
Yep.
So we start a bad habit, until we change that shit, we might keep that bad habit our whole life. People know they're not supposed to be smoking and smoke every day, all day.
Yep.
Probably tell the kids don't smoke, and they sneak off to the side and be smoking. You know what I'm saying? They can't even do what they're telling their kids not to do. You know
That's
what I'm
the
saying?
last habit I got to master, man. I'm trying to crip that weed shit out, man. But it's, ooh, you know what I'm saying? It's like the last thing I got left. You know what I'm saying? That holds me grounded to, like, you know, just to make me kick back. Because reading these books can send you out into the world really in a, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm when I speak about shit, bro, and I make fun of this shit, I make fun of myself. I see myself, stupid dumb nigga, talking about you gonna get your social security number back and get all this money. Maybe go sit your ass down somewhere.
People was really doing it. They was freezing. Yo, they freeze. What is that called? What is that called right there?
But see what they were
Commercial
doing.
code.
Yeah, it's UCC, right? What they were doing
Commercial
though was
code.
illegal.
Unified commercial code. I studied that too.
Because you can't do it while you're in jail because you're already under a contract. When you sign up for your bid for the judge, you signed up for all of this shit. What they were doing was going to put liens on police officers committing contractual fraud. That's why I got snatched out the law library.
That's why they took them books out and they made them illegal in prison
Yep.
because they froze the dude, the superintendent of Wyoming.
Yep.
They froze his whole account, everything.
His life.
They froze his life with that.
Yep.
But that is law. That unified that United Commercial Code, that is law.
Yeah.
That is law. That goes back to, because you got to remember, I don't really want to go into it too much, but you can't unknowingly go into a contract.
Yeah.
When you were born, you were put into a contract.
Yeah, and according to
you can get out of that contract because you
statute, you have to be 14 years or older to enter into a contract with the consent of an adult, and you weren't 14 years on the old. So I know the whole spiel. You see what I'm saying? Like, and it's real. That's why Wesley Snipes got himself jammed up. He did something wrong.
No, like, you know why? Because if you get jammed up, because they're gonna play stupid, and if you don't know how to go all the way with it,
they're
gonna have you in an insane asylum.
Color, and certain all that silly shit.
They're gonna have you in an insane asylum. What you mean? You ain't him. You represent him. They're gonna have you in a crazy house. Like what?
Talking about a third person. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
you talking a third person in the court, and you really don't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
they're gonna have you listen. Take him to the crazy house. Give him that shot. He'll hit you with that shot, and you're gonna come back to court, and you're gonna be like, "Yes, my name is Arnold Jackson."
You're stupid, Arnold Jackson.
Which way do I go? Give me my time. This shit, the gig is up.
No, I'm sorry.
Nah, they're gonna play dumb. They're gonna act like they don't know. They're gonna try to play you. They're gonna act like they don't know.
Another thing too, not to jump off subject too, but I wanted to holler at you too about some other shit too, Mikey B, about some financial literacy that they ain't teaching us. You know what I'm saying? That I got the scoop on. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's a lot, you know what I'm saying, but it's beneficial. And if you do it the right way, you're gonna get everything that you deserve, that you worked. It's a whole nother segue, but we'll get to that. You know what I'm saying?
You can always hit me up in the back, and we could put it together. It's not a biggie, I'm always here for anything educational, anything that's positive, that's good like that. I'm with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we ain't been taught this, like, and that's another thing. Like I said, we gotta. It's about it ain't about heads not wanting to read and all this and not knowing. It's the cats that know what's to be read. They not around to tell the young heads to read like how your OGs was giving you them books. You know what I'm saying? And this, that, and third, when you was locked up, we don't even got enough niggas reading books. Matter of fact, I heard in Texas they took libraries out of schools
That's
because
horrible.
it ain't enough reading.
That's horrible.
That's wicked. Yeah, I'm a firm believer that this phone is the only way we're gonna be able to reach the youth. So we got to be responsible. Like I made that whole thing about Boosie today.
Yeah.
That's nasty work. That didn't even make sense what that woman was saying. But we're not getting into that. What I'm saying is we got to watch the narrative we push because this is where, right here, this is where they got it. This is where our kids is. This is the only way we're gonna reach them. You know what I'm
It's the
saying?
only way, and we gotta make it relatable to them, to
Yeah.
where like you
They
remember
not
when your
pulling up to
mom used to
know.
make you go to church, wake you up, you had to go to church every Sunday, you ain't even want to go to church. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't related. You had to sit in the pews and all that. Nah. So we gotta make it like intriguing. You know what I'm saying? It
Right, right,
always.
right, right, right.
But
No,
I feel like, you know what I'm saying, history is intriguing itself because we lack of it. You know what I'm saying? So what you lack of, you should be intrigued to want to know more about or learn about. You know what I'm saying? At least.
right. Yo, check this out. This is some top quotes from Sun Tzu. I want to show you some of these top quotes and go through them real quick.
Okay.
Break it down.
Check these out. These are some of the top quotes.
What?
What was the art of war about? Was it a hard read? Well known. Where is it at? Hold on. He got like a quote, bro. He got a quote, bro. It's like it says he's talking about knowing yourself and the enemy, right?
Yeah.
He said if you know yourself, meaning your army, but you don't
Yeah.
know the other army,
Your
I got
opponent,
some for you. I got some for you.
then you win. Hold on, let me just get this out real quick. Then you'll win 50% of the time.
because you already know the transgression that you bring in.
No, because you know your own, you know what your
Yeah, your
army,
own strength
you
is.
know, you know your army, but you don't know your
Mhm.
enemy's army.
Yeah, but you know that means you know you won half the war because
Or you
you
know
know
half
what
the war.
you know half the war because you know the weakness, you know the strengths and weaknesses of your own. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? You know the limits that you're willing to push.
right. You know,
I don't know if they willing to take it to death. I don't know if they're gonna bite off of air like I'm about to bite off of air. And I train my soldiers to
but
bite
you
off
don't
air.
know, but being that you don't know your enemy, you'll win 50% of the time, you'll
And
win
you'll
50% of the
lose.
time. They said if you don't, if you don't know yourself or your enemy,
You'll lose every
like you
time.
don't know your team, or you don't know your enemy,
You'll lose every time.
or you're gonna lose them most of the time. Because guess
Yeah.
what? I have seen that happen. Like dudes think they got dudes with them, and the war pops, and nobody's there. It's like,
Yo,
yo, where
yo,
everybody
Mikey
go?
B, that's crazy that you said that. That's why I never, when I was doing it, when I was doing that thing with the brims and shit, and doing my thing out here under Smitty and shit, I never liked that whole jumping in shit because, yo, guess what? These niggas somehow subconsciously niggas know that you're not gonna kill them, right? You're not gonna fight them to death like they will be in combat war with the opposite. You know what I'm saying? So of course, like it's almost like let's get this shit over with. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna, yeah, niggas ain't gonna kill me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then when it come to some real shit, niggas tuck they tail. Niggas be wondering why, cause nigga ain't never got into a real fight with niggas or never got into nothing for real, for real.
I,
So you can't. I always tell a nigga, right? It don't matter how many guns a nigga got. If he ain't no shooter, them shits is like trophies. They just be on the wall. He just
uh-huh.
collecting guns. He
But
So
might as well call it. He gonna call the cops every time something happen because
right,
he don't know. He not a shooter.
let me
He
interject
might
real
go to the
quick.
range and all that, but he ain't willing to take nobody life for his life.
You said something, right? And I be hearing people on the internet, right? And I gotta correct the narrative. And I tell
Hmm.
people, they go back to not only to get to the jail shit, be like, oh, all them
Okay.
years in the box, you not gangs, you not hiding, you hiding in the box, you doing all this. Okay, right? Come in this cell where it's me and you, right? not your gang, not your big homie, not your
None of that.
safety. Me and you for 30 minutes. They walk every 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It takes about 10 minutes to get in. So we got 40 minutes to see who loves their life more. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
that
niggas don't want to
mentality-
do that knowing that ain't nobody there to break it
It's
up. They
easy to
don't
do
know how
that
they
shit with
life
it. You see what
going.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it ain't
yeah,
the
they don't know
gangs,
how they
it's
life
the
going to end.
individuals who in that shit. I don't blame the streets no more. I don't blame the gangs. They're always gonna be there. They always was. If it wasn't the Irish gang, the Sicilian mafia, all that shit, it was the fucking Titans, the 300s. They were gangs.
Yeah, because look, bro, you got to think they
So,
always say
hold
it's
on
no rules.
real quick, right? Just think about psychological warfare, right?
Yeah.
Dudes be brolic in jail and they don't get busy.
Yep.
But they use their size,
So
maybe their
nobody can mess with
voices to try to win before the fight. If you can make somebody so scared of you, a lot of dudes do that in the street. They got 30 people, you know, they got the bag or whatever. So they try to frighten you from going to war with them beforehand.
Right.
This is strategies. These are strategies of war.
Yeah,
This is how people are winning.
This is common. This is common.
This is how people are winning wars before even a battle even starts.
It's like going out to the yard and working out every day.
If you got a rep, like, and let me tell you something. I'm gonna go to when I do one of these shows again. The next show I'm gonna do is the Machiavelli of the Prince, because that was like the second thing that came out.
Oh, I know that one. I want to know that one right there.
I'm gonna do the Machiavelli of the Prince show. That costs a little bit of money too. That's a couple dollars too. But that's something you might want to study too, real quick. It's great. It's a good book, but people, like I said, it's just information. And before I get off this show, it's how you interpret information, bro.
Righteous.
I can understand what Ron was saying about. I see a lot of people saying like the 48 Laws of Power. All of these books are bad, but I studied all those books and I didn't do bad with them because it wasn't in my character. Sometimes these books might bring the best out of you or the worst out of some people.
Or some of them is just good reads.
If you easily manipulated or moved, then that can happen to you. But
it's like dictating the words.
Yeah, but you got to remember, if somebody is giving you their interpretation and teaching you a book, then I can see it being easy. It's easy for you to be led astray.
Yeah.
If I build with you and say, you now see what he's saying right here is, you got to get everybody. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep it. Listen,
use it today, but that's
everybody gotta go.
But you know they've been doing that with the Bible.
So everybody gotta go.
Yeah, but they've been doing that with the Bible for years, though.
Right. And any other religious book you might think of, they're using all of them. Somebody's always going to try to use everything in the wrong way, or just be unintelligent and misinterpret everything.
To interpret it, but got the floor to speak about it. Like that'd be the crazy shit.
He got the ears. Got the ear, like you said before.
You got the ears and the floor to say something to a lot of. That'd be the crazy shit. Like it don't even be about it be the messaging. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes it just be the messages. They don't know how. They not interpreting it right, and they giving it out. They giving it out. You heard?
Right. But the Machiavelli is much different than the Art of War. It's from a different time, from different types of people. You got to remember them. The Asians with that, especially when you see TLA Tao, they coming from a whole different perspective, unbiased information. When the European, when they was warring against each other, it was different.
Yo, I heard some shit, right, Big Mike? I heard some shit, right, where, you know, with the tribes and all that, just even to the day, if they biggest thing is loyalty. Anything that's even like remotely close to disloyal, they gotta chop fingers off, then hand off. They own shit. Then they gotta die by their own sword. You are like You hear? They live by a whole different mentality, a whole different.
Flying Guillotine said he'll tell you this. I study your Flying Guillotine. I study Taoism too.
What guillotine is that?
Tao. I study Taoism too.
What's that?
That's a whole nother study, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
you gotta put me on, Mike. You gotta put me on.
Let me tell you something. That's like, you ever see that? You ever see that? You ever see that cartoon where the dude be like, strong like a mountain, tiger
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
It's different. It's like being one with the land, and you can take on many forms. It's ill. It's a whole nother.
All right, so yo, get this app. It's an app called Scribed. You heard?
Scribe.
Taoist.
SCRIBE.
Scribed, right?
Scribed. Okay.
That's where you're gonna find all these books you're not gonna find in Barnes and Nobles. It's like $9.99 a month.
I'm gonna tell y'all the book to read if you want to learn about
shit.
Taoism.
I get it.
Because he's right. The Flying Guillotine is right. Read a book called The Best Book. Yo, Cola James, what's up? The best book on that is a book I read called The Siddhartha. The Siddhartha is like the greatest book. They saying it's like the best book ever of all times ever, besides the Bible.
Hold on. I'm putting that in my notes right now.
Four Agreements. I want you to do something on that. We got to do something. 4 Agreements on that.
Hold on.
You ever read that book?
Nah.
Yeah.
Sith Harford.
Look, I got it right here. Herman Hesse. Look. Yo, listen. With that studying shit, bro, I'm an animal. I ain't play no games with that studying shit. And that's why, I'm blessed in where I'm at now. Because I ain't no dummy, bro.
The book club. You heard? The Hood Love Book Club.
We can do it. We can do it about this book too. We can talk about this book too. This book right here, The Siddhartha, fire.
That's what I just looked up right just now.
Look, a 1920 novel by Herman Hesse that deals with the spiritual journey of self-discovery of a man named Siddhartha during the time of Buddha. The book, Hesse's 9th novel, was written in German in a simple lyrical style. It was published in the United States in 1951 and became influential during the 1960s. Hesse dedicated first part of it to the French writer Roman Roland, and the second part to William Gunter, his cousin. Sanskrit.
Shit.
This you got to read this. This is nice.
You see Flying Guillotine? He said, Mikey, I have a version outside the U.S. I want to see what that's hitting for.
He said he got what?
He got a version that's outside the U.S. Like it's like that must be the real version. He's saying, I think.
Yeah, I'm an animal. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That studying shit though.
Yeah. Once you learn how to apply it, like I was reading that shit and didn't know. I was just collecting knowledge and spitting it back on the gate to people. And when I write letters to the big homies, I wanted to sound smart. You heard? But now that I'm in real life, I understand it. Yo, everything in life.
Oh, so easy. Ready?
That's why my content is improved. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm gonna grab it right now.
Yeah, this is a book that you gotta check out. This book is like Siddhartha's fire.
Yo,
right?
I'm already on it.
Siddhartha's fire.
I'm already on it. Oh yeah, my godfather. He told me he got the other wall. He got the book in the closet. He gonna give it to me.
Oh, he got it? Yeah, check that out.
Yeah.
You got to get into that, bro. You heard?
Yeah.
You got to get into that, bro. You heard?
Yep. I'm definitely gonna get into that.
Sankofa? I think I did. I think I read a book on Sankofa, Cola James. I gotta. Flying Guillotine said we on the same path. We gotta talk. Yo, listen. You know what book I was listening to last night? You never guess what book I was listening to last night.
What book?
The Book of Enoch.
Yo, don't start this shit, Mikey. We're gonna be here for 5 hours if you want to get on this shit. You heard?
I was listening to the Book of Enoch last night.
You ever read the Book of Eurasia?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I never read the Book of Enoch, but it keeps coming up when like anything the universe sends to me, keeps sending to me, then I know it's coming to me for a reason. So I gotta read it. I gotta study it.
Download that app, Scribed. Every book you could think of, even books you have probably even heard of, is on there. It's like it's for like for the books. Like you can't get the Behold the Pale Horse anywhere out here. They have it. You see what I'm saying?
Sorry.
I read Behold the Pale Horse, all of that, son. The New World Order back then.
Yeah. Behold the Pale Horse. I got that book.
All of them shits, man. What's the other one?
Now that's the one, Mikey B. That's one that you got to keep putting down.
What's that?
The White Magic. The Book of White Magic.
The Behold the Pale Horse. That one.
Yeah, Behold the Pale Horse is kind of a hard read. I read that. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was easier read than The Art of War at that time. For me, the Behold the Pale Horse is crazy,
That shit crazy.
Yo, that's standing at the scratch line. I still think they should make a movie about that, man.
I don't like the second book. Echoes of a Distant Summer.
That's why I should stand at the scratch line. That right there, I can see Michael B. Jordan doing that one. You heard?
I don't know why they ain't make that. I don't know why they ain't make that movie yet.
Hey, yo, 50.
No,
you heard it here first on Hood Love TV. Go get Michael B. Jordan. Go make that stand at the scratch line. You know what I'm saying?
I'm surprised Tarantino ain't make that.
Nah, my shit was The Spook That Sat by the Door.
Even Spike Lee, The Spook That Sat by the Door. That's my favorite book. That's who I consider myself.
I like Spook That Sat by the Door too. That was why I got that early. I got that early too. The Spook That Sat by the Door.
Man.
Let me see something important from The Art of War.
You know who you should have up here who's really sharp with all these books? Mel Cross.
I know. Mel Cross is giving me these books. Me and Mel Cross was going back and forth for years with these books, bro.
You did say that, though. He gave you some books.
Me and Mel Cross was together, bro. Me, Mel Cross, Larry O, Ronell, that's in the chat. Me, Larry, we was in a house together. Magoo, all of us. Frank White. Them dudes was all swift. They was all with the books. Them dudes was like.
Yeah. I met Frank White in Upstate Box.
Hey, yo, you said you wasn't locked with Pete, right?
With Pistol Pete?
Yeah.
I never was locked in with Pistol Pete, no. I was never locked in with
Even what's his name? When we locked in, Moshe. Moshe's the animal too.
Moshe's an animal. Moshe got a master's degree.
Yeah, he's like I met him in 2013 in Upstate Box. Different type of animal.
Moshe got a master's degree. Me and Moshe was in a book club for what's the book about drug game against the community.
Oh man.
The new Jim Crow.
Okay, yeah.
The new Jim Crow.
Yeah, that boy is sharp, man.
Michelle Alexander. Me and Moshe, we was in a study group in Shawanga for that book, The New Jim Crow. We used to have groups and study like we studying now. We used to go through the books and just study them chapter by chapter together, you heard?
Hell yeah, that boy. I had a pleasure of meeting him too.
Yo, look. Yo, keep y'all coins too, you heard?
Keep your pennies. Listen, keep your pennies.
Word.
Yo,
they're gonna become national treasures.
Yo, keep y'all coin. Let me tell you some good stuff. I found the coin, and it was worth $500. You heard?
Really?
Oh wow.
I found a quarter worth $500, bro.
Hey yo, you know what I've been investing in?
You have a nigga pull his change thing out tonight, be up with his phone all night.
You better look at all your coins, bro.
Go ahead. You should invest in gold backs. Gold backs.
What you mean? Go back what?
Gold backs, like they like bills. They like real thin 24 karat sheets of gold. They like bills. They look like gold bills. I'm gonna send you some shit, Mikey B. Gold backs.
Right,
yeah.
But yo, listen. When you get them coins,
that was so good.
When you get them coins, Google them coins. You be giving away quarters and giving away change. You might be giving away 100,000. You're
sick. I don't even want to know. I'm just gonna save all my change from now on and just look at it. If I started thinking about that, my mind gonna have me up here ready to hurt to tell her.
No coin is going through my hands, and I'm not checking no more.
Yep,
I'm telling you, I found a coin.
Yo, what I checking for?
Google it. You could Google it. You know, on your phone, you got the Google app.
Yep.
Then with the picture.
Yeah, you can picture it.
You search anything. Look. This Google. You don't got this Google right here? Matter of fact, let me just share it. Let me share the page. It's the other Google with that little
with the image, with the photo joint.
Right.
With the camera joint.
Put that to the coin. and it's gonna tell you what it's worth. It's gonna tell you
Even
what
your
it's
dollar bills. Even your dollar bills.
right. But them
But
coins
listen,
is worth. Them coins is
Save your pennies. Save your pennies because they don't make them no more. They become national treasures, and then they got to pay for it to come out of rotation. You understand what I'm saying? So they're gonna be worth. They might give you $1.
I
every
know,
penny.
yo. Look, I got a penny in front of me. I think they just said it's worth 600. Look,
You
I
doing things.
swear. This penny in front of me.
Yeah.
I just took a picture of it. Look, I just took a picture of this penny in front of me. Look, there's a penny on my desk. It's outside the bag.
I'm about
They
to go
said
find
it's
me
worth
some
600.
change. I'm about to go find me some change tonight. I'll be up all night scanning
Look,
quarters.
it's saying this penny that I just picked up in front of me is worth 600. I swear.
What's
on
the date?
everything.
What's the date? What's the date on it?
Let me see. Hold on.
I know you're not lying. I know somebody makes good money selling those shits.
Oh shit!
Coins.
I think I got a 1972 double die error. If you got any coins that got errors, it looks strange.
Yeah.
Anything that looks strange, keep it. You
Yeah,
heard?
I'm about to be up all
Any
night tonight.
pennies, any nickels, dimes, pennies and quarters is lit right now. You heard?
Because that's real
Yeah.
copper. That's 100% copper that you got right there.
You gotta show your face. We about to get up out of here. Who's that?
That's 100% copper right there.
All right, I see you. I see you. I see you, Ohead.
What up?
Yo, what up, Ohead?
Hey, I got the dial right here. Let me go get it. I also have Neely Fuller's book. Have you heard of him?
Who?
Neely Fuller. Excuse me, man.
Nah, I didn't hear you. I can't hear you, bro.
Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, 1 second.
Yo, I'm telling you, bro. I think this penny I just picked up is worth $600, bro.
That's
Wait, I just
crazy.
took a picture of this penny that was. It wasn't even in that bag.
Wait till I get off this shit. I'm going right
Yeah,
in my
you know
car.
that shit.
I'm
got a
going right in the
whole
penny
change.
section.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm not giving away no more coins, bro.
I'm about to go to the store just cashing in dollars.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Cola James said she got a Mercury. I got a quarter worth like 500. I got a quarter worth 500.
I'm
Yo, what
very
up, Ohead?
excited. I'm very excited. You're the first Taoist I've met. This is the complete I Ching.
The I
It's
Ching.
by,
First of all, where you at? Because it's light as hell out there, brother.
Word.
I'm in the Philippines. Excuse the haircut.
Oh, you're
I'm
in the Philippines.
Yeah, I've been here for a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yo, salute to the Philippines, man. Yo.
Salute,
Man.
Philippines. It's
Man,
beautiful
it's
out
great.
there, huh?
Yeah.
I'll be in Aruba in 2 weeks.
It's very simple. Oh, that's nice. That's nice,
Yeah.
brother. But it's by Taoist master Alfred Huang, the complete I Ching. It explains how they get the trigrams. You know the lines. It explains how they got. It explains everything. This guy was in prison in China, and he was taught by a Taoist master. He's one of the last, like from that real camp, and he moved to Hawaii and he wrote the book. His name is Alfred Wang.
A lot of people don't know the original ones that came over there bring karate and all that was African.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and also the origins of kung fu come from Tao.
Yeah.
Tao, come from Taoism, all that.
I got that book at home. At
Taoism.
Yeah, this book by Neely Fuller. You heard of Neely Fuller? This book also is not sold in prisons.
What's the name of the book?
The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept. Neely Fuller, he's you know Francis Cress Wilson.
They said again.
You know Francis Cress Wilson, the ice papers.
Yes.
Yeah.
He rode with her. He died like 2 years ago, but you can see his lectures on Victor of RWS.
Let me put that in my notes.
Fire.
Yeah. He's saying that people of color around the world need to have a code, a counter-racism code. And he don't duck nothing. He don't duck no issues, no nothing. Very, 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 very potent. Yeah. That book is not sold in prisons.
Yo, what you call it was like, yo, where you at? It's sunny out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Beautiful, man.
That's fire. But yo, let me tell you something. Yo, it's your old head. It's hard to find people with the range, with the range of reading that I've done. it's only a small group of people, and we all
And that
really
can
study
actually
a lot of the same
interpret that.
stuff.
You gotta
Before
be
we about to
respectful.
get up out of here shortly, bro. I ain't being up here all night. Check it out. We can come back tomorrow. Check it out. Y'all ever heard of the Akashic file?
No.
I heard of that.
Nah.
You know what that is?
I heard of Akashi file.
Akashi file?
The Akashic record.
Akash.
Oh, Akashi. Yeah, I heard of that. I don't know nothing about it, but I heard of it.
The Akashic record. Anybody in the chat know what the Akashic record is? This is y'all homework.
Nah, I don't know what that
I'm
shit
giving
is.
y'all homework tonight.
How do you spell it?
Akashic record.
AKASHIC.
AK Akashic. AK just Google it. Just speak it.
Hey, I read Machiavelli.
Check it out. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is right now.
Is this related to white magic?
Okay.
What? No. Listen.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Check it out. Check it out. The Akashic record is a record of everything that ever happened in history of the universe. That's what the Akashic record is. So you see how Google has all the information in the world right now. You can just Google anything, and something comes up.
Yeah.
The Akashic record is the universal shit that you could tap in and learn stuff from the past. This is why you see people talking about they from 1972 or they had another life, they lived this time. That's because they tapped into the Akashic record. And once you tap into the Akashic record, any knowledge anywhere in the whole universe that ever happened, you get all that knowledge. This is how they're coming. It's like Google. It's like Google, but it's a universal record. I'm gonna Google it real quick. I'm gonna Siri it real quick so she can tell you what it is. Hey Siri, what is the Akashic record?
Metaphysical living library or energetic base.
Hold on. You reading out loud, bro? Hold on.
I'm a maven. I see it.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get this. Hey Siri. What is
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
I ain't going to bed tonight. I know it.
Hey Siri, what is the Akashic record?
Here's an
Oh
answer.
yeah, we know about the Book of Fire Rings.
The Akashic records are continuum of thoughts, events, and emotions believed by Theosophists to be encoded in a non-physical plane of existence known as the astral plane.
Okay.
The term Akashic is derived from the Sanskrit word of sky, space, luminous, or ether. So, studying, that's how I learned about this. You know they had monkeys on an island, right? And humans came and gave the monkeys bananas on this island for a shell. Every monkey, they taught the monkeys to bring them shells and they'll give the monkeys the bananas. Right? They went to the next island. The monkeys couldn't go on a boat. They went to another island. The monkeys couldn't go. Soon as they got to the other island, the monkeys gave them seashells for bananas.
The word traveled.
They tapped into the Akashic file. The Akashic record. The word ain't travel, it's all mental.
It's like psychopathic.
Why you think
like telepathical type shit?
All this stuff, where you think the computer came from?
Yo, bro, that's what I was talking about.
Yo, hear me out real quick. Let me give you this knowledge. The computer that's we on right now, they came from the Akashic file. What the brother was just talking about, Taoism, is about meditation. We don't meditate. Deep prayer is a form of meditation. You tap into it. If we right now, hold on. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. How did Steve Jobs come up with the idea for the computer?
Jobs didn't invent the computer, but he helped popularize personal computing. He was inspired by visits to Xerox PARC in the 1970s, where he saw the graphical user interface and mouse. Jobs combined ideas from early hobbyist computers, the work of Steve Wozniak, and user-friendly design concepts to create products like the Apple II and later the Macintosh.
That shit is cap. She's lying. Check it out. If you read Steve Jobs' book, he came up with the idea for meditating. He tapped into the Akashic file. There were already computers in the world. They have a computer in the world. They have old computers in this world, in America, in the world. You can Google old computers right now. They can show you an old computer, bro, before this time.
It was in the hieroglyphics.
It's not only it's in the hieroglyphics too. They have an actual computer. Hey Siri, show me images of the first computer ever found in ancient times.
Here are some images of first computer ever found in ancient times from the web.
How would you can
pictures? I don't play about this education, bro. We got pictures. This is pictures of the first computers ever, bro. Hold on, let me share this.
You ever seen the movie The One
you gotta
with
share
Jet
that.
Li?
Yo, look.
The one, the one. I was thinking about that.
I really understand this shit too, bro. And it almost drove me crazy. You heard us? Like, if you get too engulfed in it, you understand, like, fasting, meditation.
Yeah.
Check it out. I'm about to share this with you real quick. I gotta get up out of here.
Yo, and while
y'all gonna have me doing it all night.
But while
I'm an
you
animal with
searching
this
for
history shit. I'm an animal with all this. I'm an animal with all this stuff, bro. I'm an animal. I'm not.
Yo, why
Salute,
y'all
man,
heard
vibes.
y'all heard about the guy in Florida that got caught that got arrested for talking to the dolphin, right? Talking about the dolphin took him under the water and made him build a whole town for them. The nigga named Gerald, all kind of shit.
I think he was fucking with the
Do you see that?
That's crazy.
That's
Like you say, nothing is ever new. It's just,
I'm telling you, all you got to do is study. My study gave me, once I started studying, it automatically leads you back. Let me tell you something. Once you start studying God and the Bible and you start studying all of that, it's going to lead you to aliens. It's going to lead you to aliens. It's going to lead you to the pyramids. I had to study the pyramids. I studied Machu Picchu. I studied the lines of Nazca.
So hold on, is the Bible Pandora box as well?
he said, I think Einstein cheated.
They talked about aliens in the Bible, bro, and demons and aliens are the same thing. I mean, all this stuff, bro, is one. All this stuff is united. Once I started studying certain stuff, my studies led me to all this shit that I'm telling you about, bro. Yeah. How you think I'm telling you about the Greeks getting the information from Egyptians, just like Jesus did, just like Moses did? Egypt was the college of the world.
The university.
So if you believe that, then right, those studies. If you're in the room with you, your father, and your son, who's the oldest?
You said what?
If you believe in that, if you're in the room with you, your father, and your son, who's the oldest?
You said who's the
son?
oldest?
Yeah. Who's the oldest?
Your father.
Nope. Your son is.
The son?
Because the memories, like this is what we're talking about, like the memories that he has all the knowledge and the memories that you guys have. He just has to tap into it.
Combined together.
You see what I'm saying? Combined together. He's
his wisdom outlasts. His wisdom is older than mother, dad, father, and grandfather. Because he got the wisdom of his grandfather in him.
He just got to tap into it.
He got the wisdom of his father in him. But he just got to reconcile with it. You know
but you saying
he just got to tap
you saying who's older? That's who's more knowledgeable.
Well, no, it's really say who's older, who's wiser. I should use, but who's older and wiser.
You should have said who's wiser.
Technically, the child is older than you because the memory cells in the skin. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they say about eating animals is no good because they keep the hormones and the memories of when they killed and it creates the rage.
You just said that shit the other day, Mikey B. You was like, yo, and I seen that too. That was 100% fact. How we store memory, and our blood got memory.
Right.
Thousands, ancients, and thousands of. We ain't even been
And
living
listen,
for thousands of years.
I'm trying to get this in real quick. Pause. I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to tell y'all this real quick because that's why the Egyptian says, "Know thyself." Why you think everybody's always saying meditation is you ruminating, your mind ruminating, and you already, when you come to this world, you come with information already. You come with that's rites of passage, bro. We removed from where we come from. Why you think the 3 wise men went to that village to go get Jesus? How they knew? How they knew he was coming? Because they was tapped in.
Yep.
They were tapped in.
Like
How the 3 wise men? How the 3 wise men just pop up out of nowhere, running across a place to go find somebody that they say is the Messiah, that's God in the flesh? How they know
There's
that?
only way scouting, and he ain't even been born yet.
But see, this is the difference, and this is why you got to make your own interpretation of things as a man. You have to read and study as a man, because nobody never said that to me. That's something that I learned.
Understanding.
That was something that I learned myself to ask that question. And they say the questions is what make you smart. It's the questions you ask.
Right.
Hold up. How you think they came up with a theory of relativity? All these theories came up from them thinking. That's it. As a man thinketh. You ever read that book? All you got to do is think. You already have it. You already have all the information inside of you. You already have it. What you don't understand, what we don't understand about the educational system is they say they're teaching us, right? But really, all they doing is showing us how to use what we already got. We already got it right here. We got it here. We born with it.
They just want us to tap into it.
That's the whole thing.
They don't want you to tap in. They don't want you to tap into it.
Hear me out. It's the word usage of how you think of yourself. If you think of yourself like you already got it, now you are God. They don't want you to think that you already got it. They want you to think that it's coming from outside of you, that I'm giving it to you. No, I already have it. What you're doing is helping me sharpen the steel that I already got.
Yep.
You can't make a sword.
And I don't even think they purposely doing that shit.
No, it is.
They don't want us to know how.
No, they smart. They know the information. Yeah. They know it's purposely done. This is purposely done, bro. They stole the truth. They got all the information, bro. They have all the information. They have all the computers, all the artifacts. Why do you think they raided all those tombs across the world?
It's all of Illuminati is being illuminated.
Why you think that? Bro, you already have it when you born. You are born with it.
The foods that we eat block it out. They teach us in school. The things that we see is all designed to bury what we already know and be indoctrinated with something else to live by. Go to school.
We teach kids.
They keep us grounded.
Kids is young.
They keep us grounded.
We teach kids how to do the Dougie, how to do all this other stuff. When you could be teaching them multiple languages when they babies. You know how easy it is to teach a kid a language when they're a kid?
Yep.
You know how easy that is?
But the Pope said, give me a child from the grade of 1 to 5 and I can raise whatever.
Yeah, my baby, she learning French right now. So
they tell us not to wear shoes. French. They tell us not to wear shoes. Wear rubber.
You can easily learn so many different languages as a kid, but we don't do that. We do things because we're taught wrong.
Yep.
And we pass that on. We pass on that same influence of teaching wrong. You already have the information. You got to remember, when you come from the spiritual world and when you're born, you come here with information for us. You come with new information. You bring in new information to the world. What you mean? Your name is supposed to mean something.
Remember the movie Baby Geniuses? Has anybody seen that?
Yeah, Baby Geniuses. Yeah,
when
for
the babies
sure.
was before
I remember that. Baby Geniuses.
Come on, it's right there in front of us because technically
and
they can't hide the knowledge from us.
Let me say something. You see what you said? Like your name, the God. That's what we are. Jesus said it. God in the flesh. No matter what you think, God in the flesh came here and said, you are gods, but you will die like mortal men. We gods in the flesh, bro. This is what we are.
Our flesh dies, but our energy never dies.
But it's downplayed because what? We never get to do that because of all our lower self. We smashing the most joints. We getting high. We drinking.
Yep.
We lit out here. We beefing with dudes up the block. We trying to get a couple dollars just to survive.
Yep.
So you never going to be able to sit down and get into your God properties without proper meditation, without real thought.
Self-love, self-actualization.
Self-love, very important. Love, without love, you won't be able to move forward. That's why I named my company Hood Love. Love is the strongest power in the world, in the universe.
Yep.
Yeah, bro. But this is a good one, man.
Yeah, that most definitely.
Check into that Akashic file. I want y'all to check into that Akashic file.
Yes, I'm definitely gonna be on that tonight.
And we can do a show about it. Y'all, we can do it on one of y'all channels or whatever y'all got going on.
I don't mind pulling up the same way. Like I said, I'm like, if I can learn something, I can, you know what I'm saying, I can rock with it. Like I talk about these rappers because, you know, I'm trying to get a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? Couple dollars. But
yo, hold on. We got some people in the background. Let's say hi before. Let me let these people say hi before we get up out of here. Yo, what's up? How you doing, Mike Morse?
Hello, toodaloo. How is everybody tonight? My name is Mike.
What's going on?
Splendid.
Nothing. What y'all talking about tonight? I just got on.
Nah, we was about to get off. But we were talking about.
That's what she said.
We talked about the art of war. We talked about the art of war. That was the main topic. But we got into other things, Taoism. We got into the Akashic file.
The art of war
right there. Who else we got back here? Shabazz Drippins.
What up? Shabazz Drippins right here.
Wait. Hi, Shabazz.
So,
who else we got back here? I don't see the last other person, but that's what we was talking about. We was if y'all wanna give us some build on that before we get up out of here, y'all can.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I want to tell you, like, the art of war is knowing about how somebody's gonna come at you. So you need to think.
All right.
That's understandable.
Respect.
Right.
Think about
so the art of war is like, for example, say you have a wall, a great wall, like, I don't know, Minnesota. The Mongolians are like ice. Ice is taken over to beat back the Chinese.
Yeah.
And we're putting a wall up around Minnesota.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. I
support ice.
Time. You got to think about it.
So y'all brothers have a good night.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, yo, but yeah, so we're gonna close out right now. I'm glad they came through and bless us with that good energy.
Yes, sir.
You know, everybody's welcome here at Hood Love. Everybody welcome here at Hood Love, you know.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me. I'm definitely gonna be out of here. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody that showed up. I appreciate y'all.
Thank everybody that blessed the panel.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Appreciate y'all. We're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna be here. We're gonna talk about it, you heard?
We'll tap in.
This is a good show. But this is a good show right here. You know what I mean? Make y'all support the channel, share the live. Y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button on the way out. And we're gonna have more stuff like this for y'all in the future. This is what we coming with. You know what I'm saying? This is how we coming. We're gonna break down all these books, all these different things that we've been talking about. We're gonna have shows for all this different stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Most definitely. I appreciate you letting me get up here. I look forward to speaking on some more of this with you, brother.
I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man.
Salute to everybody. Stay
salute
safe.
to y'all, man. Y'all stay in the background before we leave, you heard?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna end it now. You already know it's Mr. Hood Love, Mikey B, and it's Hood Love TV, where you live, love, and learn. You know what I mean? Say y'all stuff, talk your stuff before we get
You already know it's Ron Burgundy, Mr. Unapologetically Ignorant. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. This ain't the fat mother effort to mess with. Yeah.
What up, Hollow?
I think having some complications. He sound like
love, man. Love is love, man. Everything is love, man. I love the sessions. I love the audience, man. The chat. You know, just the discussions
alone, man. Just building and putting on. You know what I'm saying? Putting our people on, man. Yeah, you know what it is. Just hollow be our name.
Jerome.
Call me what you
Y'all already
want.
know
Don't
what it
call me
is.
late for dinner. You did.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Keep getting knowledge. Keep reading. Keep studying. Listen to audio books. Tap into shows like this. Ask your questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Ask all your questions. You know, come with humility. Come with an open heart and an open mind. You know, learn and teach. That's what we doing out here, man. You already know what it is, man.
Salutes to everybody.
Stay in the back, y'all.
This is Hood Love TV.